Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports, and tonight we're going to continue with our new series, Bridging the Gap Between Sports and Education, with college coaches and athletes that have used their sports career to springboard into college and to begin careers that through sports, they didn't have to pay to get that degree, and that career is taking care of them possibly for the rest of their life. Who do we have here?
You got Chris Tyler out of Wichita, Kansas.
Hey, Coach, tell your story to a degree, your playing career, from your biddy career on up to high school. When you start playing?
I started playing about 5 years old, man. My dad was a high school basketball player. He played in the late 70s at Wichita Heights on those teams with Darnell Valentine and Antoine Carr and those guys. Just kind of a local dude that had a lot of street credibility. And, you know, when he had his first son, man, you know, that's what he wanted. That's kind of how Wichita was back then. So he put the ball in my hand. I took it and ran with it.
What's some of the first teams you played for as your biddy teams?
When I was in biddy, man, my first team was with the T-Birds. My name Besley Ellison. Was very instrumental in my life. He's a good dude. He took a lot of young kids back then. He knew his lane. He was real good with the little ones. And then we morphed into a team called the Boys, and then everybody kind of branched off from there out of elementary.
All right. Your middle school, did you play?
Yeah, I played for a powerhouse, actually. Coleman Middle School was the pride of the East Side. 7th grade year, I was like 12th man as a 7th grader, which is kind of the norm.
What position did you play?
So it's funny, and you can talk to Coach Moore about that, but I played all of them, man. I was the versatile dude that can the glue guy. You can stick me anywhere, guard anybody. I had that versatility. So 7th grade year, we went undefeated. 8th grade year, we lost one game to some guys across town, but we still won the City League.
Run down your high school career from your freshman year.
Yeah, so freshman year, man, I went to a high school called Wichita Southeast. My head coach is Coach Carl Taylor, rest in peace. He's one of the best coaches to ever come out of Kansas. He won several state championships at Wichita Southeast High School. He won a state title in the mid-'80s at Bonner Springs. He's from Kansas City. Great dude, man. But
what did you take away from that coach as relates to your personal and your in your personal life as becoming who you are, and from a athletic standpoint, your game?
A lot. This first thing is self-discipline. I mean, he was always talking about, you know, being disciplined and you know, doing everything the right thing. One of his best quotes was, "Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do." So I always predicated myself on image, man, and how you do anything is how you do everything. I just wanted people to always know that I was going to be credible enough to do the right thing, because those are the principles he instilled in us.
Your high school career, let's go from your freshman, your personal development. What was that like being a freshman? And when you was a freshman, did you start?
Yes, but I played on a low level. Start off on the freshman team. I didn't start growing until going into my sophomore year. But my freshman year was a learning curve. Again, went to another powerhouse. Always went to schools where there was a lot of talent, you know, because I like the tough environments. I like to persevere and try to grow from that. And so played freshman basketball and had a great season.
What position was you playing?
I was playing a lot of small forward at that time, a lot of small forward and some shooting guard.
Are you rough and ready, or are you silky smooth?
I was silky smooth in high school all the way through. I started getting rough and rugged. Junior college got me rough and rugged, and I put on about 25 pounds of muscle, which shocked a lot of people.
All right. So go on to your sophomore year. Also, describe what the academic challenges were, if you was even aware that you needed to study.
No, never no academic challenges, man. I come from a two-parent household, so that was always instilled. Academics was first. My mom and dad didn't play. Mom was more so the disciplinarian. Dad was the peacemaker. So that wasn't even tolerated.
Oh, all right. So what was your sophomore season like?
Sophomore season was good, man. I was playing junior varsity, ended up shooting up varsity, getting spot minutes toward mid-year, and then ended up making top 12, and we won the state championship that year,
What year was that?
2003.
2003. What was that like? Tell the audience what that was like.
Oh, it was
Being
good,
a
man.
part of that team.
It was really good. It was a team with 8 seniors. Our coach was real big on seniors. So for a sophomore, it was two of us that made that team. To make the top 12 and be a part of that was special. We had the best player in the state, arguably, a guy named Dupree Lucas, good friend of mine to this day. He went off to play at Xavier, finished his career at Portland State, and learning a lot just being around some great athletes and good players.
Uh, let's go into your junior year.
Junior year was kind of the year that I got the torch passed to me, playing on a team that just won state in the city league title as well. Individually, I did really well, making second team all city.
What kind of numbers were you putting up?
My junior year, I was man, you got me digging deep.
That's what this is about.
Yeah, right around it was like right at 15, 8 boards. And I think about a little over 5 assists. I was all over the place.
Playing small forward.
I was playing 3-4-2 in that order. So I made a lot of things go for our team. I was always a team first guy, which I look back and I wish I was a little more selfish.
On 10, what was your handles?
On a 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
8, 9.
You had a crossover, son?
All that.
Oh, he says all of that.
So
it wasn't a crossover. You had a little something else?
All that. I could always create off the dribble ever since I was a kid. No matter how tough.
Cascade Sports, we go hard in the paint. Do you go hard in the paint?
I go hard in the paint, man. I've always been hard in the paint.
All right. As a junior, what type of role did you take on with the team?
Leader, stat sheet filler. So whatever needed to be done, I wanted to be the guy that was going to be counted on, regardless of how many seniors we had. Even the seniors at the time knew that, I was one of the 2 guys that we needed to finish games and close games. Either I had to have the ball in my hand to score or make a play, which most of the time I was making plays as I had a high basketball IQ.
I will hold it. Let me tell you this. Usually, with you guards, I'll ask you, but I already know the answer. It's 1 minute left in the game. You got 1 timeout. The team gets out of sync. Does the coach have to call a timeout, or are you a general on the floor?
Yeah, my IQ was through the roof, man. That's one thing I was always blessed with on the floor. And that's why I coach now. I just always understood the game in various ways. And so, I could just look at him and make that eye contact, and I would know what to run and what situations to put guys in.
Now, because we're going to get back on that, let's go to your senior year.
My senior year, man, I was on a really good team. We went 22-3. We ended up laying an egg at the state tournament. We was the favorites to win it. We won the city league, by a long shot. Had a couple guys get hurt at the wrong time, but individually I did really well. Ended up making second. What was
your senior year? Talk about your mindset going into your senior year with your play. Had you set any goals for yourself?
So me, I was already getting recruited by several schools at the time. It was just about putting together a good season. But what threw me off and threw me for a loop was the meeting I had with my coach before the year. He was like, I know you want to come in and be more of a scorer, but I need you to be this and this. I need you to do what you did last year times 3, because we had a lot of role guys that were very limited on the floor. So I had to be able to manipulate the game, the situations that we were in, and them at the same time, which made me a better player. But at the time, I was a little frustrated you know, even though we were winning, I still wanted to do my thing, and it held me back a little bit.
All right. That's why I said we're getting ready to go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
For these young freshmen and these players to think that they all of that and what have you, how important is it for you to understand team first and play your role?
It's very important, man, because nowadays I just feel like with the resources these kids are given, it makes guys like myself and the guys I played with, we're very envy of these new guys, man, because
personal trainers and all of that.
Crazy, everything is given to them, and it's just like they don't have to earn anything. But the best thing I can tell a kid, and what I do tell kids, is do more. You got to do more, and there's no substitute for putting in hard work in the gym.
Now you're a senior, you finishing your high school career. Yeah. What made you decide what school to go to, and where did you go?
Limited resources, which is the reason why I coach AAU at the level I do now. So I ended up going to junior college, which at the time I picked a really good junior college, Seward County in Southwest Kansas. We were the number 3 team in the country. I mean, we had everybody, man. And it was an eye opener, but it was also one of the best experiences I endured that made me a stronger person and player.
Run down what that eye opener was. I already think I know because I think I discussed it in the last interview.
Speed of the game, the physicality, playing at a shot clock pace. I mean, you playing against dudes that's 21, 22 years old. You know, back then, like junior college was crazy. You know, it's unregulated. So, I mean, it was a dude in our league that was probably the second or third best dude in the league out of Butler County that was 26 years old named Corey Bailey. He was a grown man, and I'm 18. I ain't turned 19 until January. So I'm guarding this dude and just catching hell the whole game.
Yeah. The point being, like I said, we discussed this on the last interview. A lot of these young kids, they come out of high school or going to college, now understanding that even at the JUCO level, that you might be the man where you at, but when you go to these schools, there's people that was the man where they come from, and they don't care nothing about who you are.
Right.
And a lot of players that were the man where they came from wilt when they get in that big ocean with, you're not the only shark here.
Right.
Yeah. What was that like for you?
I felt like I prepared myself as best I could, but like I said, man, it was an eye-opening experience. So it's really, you either got to put up or shut up while you in the moment. And there was a lot of guys that quit on the spot, and just, I was never afraid of perseverance, man. I was going to figure it out one way or another.
So your junior college, you had a pretty decent experience academically and athletically?
Yeah, I always did well. Academically everywhere I went. You know, I always made sure I graduated and everything.
What's the memorable moments from your JUCO?
Out of high school, I think playing at Mullins, man, back when Jerry Mullins used to have a top 120 camp down in Tulsa, man. That was really good for me, you know, and I felt like I was, you know, among the best players, and by me measuring up, that made me feel bad, you know, good about myself and my game.
How did your parents feel about you, seeing you blossom into a young man? And
yeah, they always raised me to be modest and be realistic, and I appreciate that now. I didn't get it at the time, but how they felt, they were proud. They were proud. You know, they knew what kind of kid they raised. I was never going to give up. I was going to persevere. And, you know, it was just a blessed situation.
When you stepped on the floor for your junior year with the new college, what was that like?
When I went to play Division II?
Right.
Oh, man, it was good. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. It was a decision where I just wanted to go somewhere and finish and graduate and play, man. you know, it's still a place I can go back to, and people know me. You know, I left with a lot of notoriety and things I can be proud of to put onto my kids now. It was a great experience, man. I put up some good numbers in those 2 years and graduated, and it set me up for a solid lifestyle.
That's what this program's about, that
Yeah.
solid lifestyle. And now tell our audience what you're doing.
Teaching physical education here at an elementary or middle school here in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. And so, I mean, I just looked into a career where something that's easy, it's gonna be fun, I can retire from. Um, you
Now,
know, I
hey,
enjoy it. I enjoy it. Go
tell me
ahead.
this. You got your MoKan back up, yeah, back up on them. Yeah. Talk about what that's about and what you do there at MoKan.
So this past year, I coached the 16U EYBL team. You know, MoKan's a fully sponsored, fully funded, sponsored organization by Nike. I got the opportunity to coach and be around some of the best players in the country, some of the best coaches in the country. We travel everywhere. I actually had the number 2 team, 16U team in the country this past year.
You play
Um,
down in Peach Jam, I'm sure.
I did, man. We lost in the quarters. We ended up losing to the eventual champion, Team Why Not, which is Russell Westbrook's team. And we ended up taking 5th down there, but we was down there 2 straight weeks in a bubble and playing a lot of basketball.
Right. How do you feel that with the young men that you coach open their eyes a little wider to what the game is about and that traveling experience? One thing you mentioned was Mullins, and Mullins was a big figure, especially here in the Midwest, when he did his tournaments in the summertime and all the people came. That you said that was one of your most memorable, and I'm pretty sure the kids that you took down to Peach Jam, that's going to be one of their most memorable. Some of them kids haven't done traveling.
Nah,
And,
nah.
and what's that like when you got them on the road and you mentoring them?
Oh, it's great, man, because those kids, they share the same goals and aspirations that we did when we were younger. We just didn't have the resources and the advocates that these kids have now.
Right.
And
They
so,
don't, man, there are so many traveling squads out here. Hey, you had to sell cookies and do all kinds of fundraising and everything back in, and that's how I graduated in '69. Back then, you had to run around and raise money, play, study, and do all of that.
yeah, no, for sure, man. You really had to get your hustle on. Even in my era, man, it was tough. You know, you had to really put together some things and try to get it figured out. Nowadays, man, people will cut you a check, man, just because you can make a layup. It's crazy.
All right, we're going to close this off. What are some of the closing comments you would have for young athletes and upcoming young coaches?
For young athletes, man, I just tell them you got to stay focused. Make sure you surround yourself with the right people, and make sure you're trying your hardest at those people that you're trusting to put you in the right environments to maximize your potential and better yourself. As far as young coaches, again, surround yourself around people that can help build you up and teach you the right things to become great. That's one of the things I was fortunate to do, being under Matt Souther and Rodney Perry and Chris Neff at Staley High School, Adam Short at Central Missouri State, Leo Wright at Pembroke Hill. Guys like that, man, have really been instrumental to my growth.
Excellent. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and we look forward to creating a relationship with you. As I said off camera, you know, Rodney Perry goes hand in hand with Cascade. He did our second interview when we started our company.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think he's one of the best coaches that are coaching the game.
Absolutely.
And he has really helped with that MoKan program, helped develop it.
For sure.
And that has put a lot of our young men, giving them the springboard to bridge that gap between sports and education.
For sure.
In closing, as we always say, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. And always remember, Cascade Sports, we go hard in the paint.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.